Good night. It is December 7, 2025, and it's a Sunday. Here in Sherbrooke, it is currently negative 9 degrees Celsius, 16 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's snowing. Some light snow, very fluffy, light snow, very small snowflakes. I went to the grocery store earlier, and it's one of those things that I dislike about winter is when it snows. It's just so much, not so much, but just like a little bit more laborious to do everything. It's a little bit harder to walk. It's a little bit harder to drive, although I don't have a car. So, the way that I would describe it to people who have never lived in a place with snow is just like, imagine if there's just like really cold sand on the ground when you're walking around. But it wasn't that bad. The sun this morning rose at 7:13 a.m. and it set at 4:04 p.m. I hate that, but it's just reality. That's 8 hours and 51 minutes of sunlight. Friday was a really stressful and long day. Worked for about 14 hours with maybe a total of like 30 minutes of a break. I was doing the lighting and technical direction for an improvised contemporary dance show, but there was also, I talked about this in my last weather report, there was also like a dance performance beforehand, and I was incapable of getting, there was a limit of what I was able to do beforehand, right, since I didn't have access to the venue with the artist. So building up all the lighting cues and stuff wasn't possible, but I could have done some different programming, like the actual programming of the lighting console for the improv afterwards, which I was still programming the console when the audience was there and right before the show started, which is not ideal. And I hate using this lighting console for improv. It really sucks for doing any sort of improvisation. It's an ETC Ion with the EOS operating system, which is great for theater. It's great for programming cues, but yeah, for doing live stuff, it sucks. And so I didn't have as much fun as I've had in the past, and I felt like, because I'm a part of the show, I've got a microphone and I'm interacting with the with dancers and with the head of the company who is the host of the night. And yeah, I was really stressed out, and yeah, I just wasn't having that much fun during the show because a lot of things weren't working, and I wasn't able to I don't know. But the people that I worked with, I love doing this show, and I love working with, it's new dancers every time, except for the director of the company, but I love working with him. He's such a great artist. But yeah, I just find it a huge challenge to be in charge and to have to make decisions and to have to try to be organized, get everything done, and make sure the show works. I put a lot of pressure on myself. But earlier in the day, I was working with some really great people, two really close friends of mine, and then another person who I consider to be a friend, not close at all. We don't hang out or anything. We're not close, but we're colleagues. But I really appreciate her. She's very, very good at her job, and a very calm and focused person. She's very kind. Yeah, it was just obviously everybody can tell that I'm really an anxious person in general, but also that day was very stressed out. And I was expressing it as well. But all three of them gave me really good advice and were really encouraging and just really helped me a lot. All three are very good at what they do. And they're just very cool and kind people. And I was just so grateful to work with these people that I appreciate so much. Um, and yeah, so, but I was really glad that was done. Um, and I just sort of felt I'm always, but I'm assigning, uh, like, how would I say this? Like, I don't remember what context this was, but like years ago, I heard somebody talking about like, thinking for other people, right? Like putting like thoughts in other people's heads, right? Especially when it comes to like, um, a perceived or like assuming that other people have like negative perceptions of you. It's sort of like you're like thinking for them, right? You're I don't know if that makes sense, right? But how sort of absurd that is. I feel like I'm not expressing myself very well tonight. I didn't really want to do a weather report, but um, let me just finish what I was saying. I don't really think it's very clear what I'm saying. It's sort of, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Um, I always like have the impression because I have low self-esteem and I'm insecure often that yeah, people don't like me or people um, disapprove of me. And so I was just thinking like, I didn't do that good of a job with the lighting, and like it could have been nicer, and like I could have been, um, I don't know. I just feel like I sort of had like sort of like a bad attitude, um, and I think because like I think one of the reasons why I get hired to do this, among other things, is because they have a good rapport with the director of the company, and we crack jokes, and I don't know. I try to have like a really positive attitude, but I was just like frustrated because the things I was trying to do weren't working, and I was also exhausted. That's the thing too. Is like it's like a very long day, and I have to deal this whole stress of like. I mean, I had to like set everything up like it's at 9 o'clock in the morning, and do like, and, I'm not alone, of course. I'm working with like other people who are very good at what they do, but like I have to get all the lighting set up and get the dance mats put down and then at like 4 o'clock, then the artist who was in lighting for her performance, and then so we have to go and do all that, and then I have to perform in a show, right? I have to improvise um, in a show, which is I don't know, it takes a lot of energy, and I find it very stressful, but it's also rewarding, and I also think that like it is a very cool and unique thing that is being done. To my knowledge, there is no other show like this in. I think the director was saying like at least in North America, like there is no other show like this. Improvised contemporary dance. Um. So yeah, but then the next day, just because like I have a habit of just saying yes to work all the time because I just have absolutely no idea when there's going to be a period where I'm like not going to get any work. Because I'm a contractor, I had accepted to work the next the next morning. So finished at 11 o'clock at night, and I had to be there at 9 a.m. And I was late to work because I just wasn't able to get out of bed. I was so fucking tired. And of course, like yeah, so finished at 11 o'clock, got home, drank alcohol, of course, and went to bed too late. And I really do not want to be at work. Um, and I was like just really sort of brain dead and like really not intellectually there. And it was just like it was just long. We were just like setting up for this play. And it was just long. It was supposed to finish at like 5, and I think I finished at like 6 o'clock. But I mean, I was working with my friends, which is good. Um, so yeah. Anyway, and then and then yeah, I was so exhausted and just fed up. And I did drink a lot last night. But today I was not working, and I made a list of things I wanted to do, and I was just like I've talked about this loop, right, of anxiety, and I was stuck in this loop in front of my computer and like getting more and more anxious and just not able to just like get activated to do anything, right? Because, nothing was forcing me to do it, and then it's winter, and it's not that cold outside, but it's still cold. I mean, as I always say, if it's below 0 degrees Celsius, it is objectively cold outside. It is freezing outside. And I'm like, I should go to the grocery store, and like, I have all these like empty beer cans in my room. And I've transferred some to the basement, but I'm like, I'm not gonna fill up we don't have that much space in the basement with a bunch of like empty cans, like a fucking lunatic. And that just bothered me, just like taking up space, and it stinks, and it's depressing. And I'm like, if I'm gonna be, sitting in my room all day, I don't want it to be as depressing. But I just decided, like, I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna leave, and I got some stuff done. I shaved, I took a shower, among other things on my list. I played Hollow Knight Silk Song, and I got 3 achievements, I believe, today. I'm trying to get to 100%. But I did boss, and I collect some other stuff. I got some stuff done. And then I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the grocery store. I don't want to leave, but I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. And I did it. And I returned some cans, and I bought some food. And I got everything done on my list, and that's why I'm doing this weather report, because it was on my list. I decided, like, I'm just going to do everything on my list, and not, like... Because one of the issues that I have is that, like, I will make a list of all these things that I want to accomplish. I'm like, I have to get everything accomplished, so then it'll make me feel anxious. I've talked about this before. It'll make me feel anxious, and then I'll get stuck in that anxiety loop, right? But also a thing is, like, I can just, like, do something. I can just do it for, like, a second and check it off the list, right? If that helps me get activated to do other things. Because, like, I wanted to bought these ratchet straps because I keep, like, not learning how it works. Because it's always in, like, work situations where, like, I'm stressed out. And when I'm anxious, I'm not as smart, right? Even though it's not complicated. It's just, like, people show it to me, and, like, I'm not very good at, like, manual, like, manipulations. So you need to, like, take the time to learn how to do this. So I bought some, and it's really not that complicated, of course. But, like, in the past, I, like, fucked it up or, like, forgot, like, you have to, like, pull the straps. So, like, my friend was like, just buy one and practice with it. And that's what I did. And at first it was just like, I'm just going to, like, open it up and, like, try it out. But then, like, I was like, I don't really have any, like, surfaces that I can really hook to it. So I ended up hooking it to my bathroom door and all the way into the kitchen, into the handle of a cupboard. But I got it to work. Another thing was to practice knots, because I'm really bad at knots. Like I talked about, I'm not very good at, like, manual manipulations. I want to get better at tying knots and learning different knots. And so I practiced a bowline knot, which is a very ancient and very simple knot. But from what I understand, it is a very important knot to learn as a basis for other knots. And it's basically just like a way to, like, tie a rope or string with a loop around it, and it's solid. And so I was like, I'll try it once. And I have a little bit of, like, difficulty, but I'm like, I'm just gonna put a video on, and I'm just gonna keep trying. So, like, I tried for like 5 minutes. And it's better than nothing. Just like with the ratchet strap, I did it for like 5 minutes. And then I put playing the game Heavy Rain on there, which I'd started, and is a strange game. It's sort of unintentionally funny, but also can get intense, and the controls suck, and the way the camera works is baffling. But the story's interesting so far, and it's a unique experience. Although I know there's a game like Indigo Prophecy, also known as Fahrenheit, which I played back on the PS2, is made by the same developers and is a sort of a similar structure. Anyway, and so I ended up playing for like 15, 20 minutes, and now I'm going to go make myself something to eat. So now I've done everything. So instead of, like, being like, I am going to do all of this, and I'm going to, like, spend a bunch of time doing everything. Just like, hey, if it takes 5 minutes, it takes 5 minutes. Nothing has been revolutionized in my life, but at least I did it. So today I'm thinking about the song Method Actor by Nilüfer Iyanya, which I heard earlier today. I started watching a live performance of it, and I just actually stopped mid-song. Like, I want to hear what the studio recording sounds like. Because if the studio recording sounds as good as this does live, I'm going to listen to this album. And it did. I listened to the album, which is really good. There's some stuff I don't like, some songs I don't like as much, some songs I really do like. Some songs I feel like the electric guitars are like way too high in the mix, so it sort of like sucks the life out of the drums and bass and the other instruments. But that's an aesthetic choice. So this song has got sort of a King Cruelian vibe, but doesn't really sound like King Cruel, which is pretty cool. The drums are really great. The drum beat is really, really cool. I love the chord progression in the chorus. And there are some electric guitars. There are like heavier electric guitars in this song, but I like some of the, one other track in particular. I don't feel like they're like overpowering in the mix. So yeah, check it out. It's a really good song. I'm gonna keep listening to this album. I forget what it's called. Oh, is it called Method Actor? It's called My Method Actor? Yeah, it's called My Method Actor is what the album's called. So check it out. Later, sorry, like 17 minutes. Okay, let's get on with this. I'm actually very hungry. Later tonight, I'm sure it's going to keep snowing. I mean, it's going to drop a degree Celsius to negative 10 degrees Celsius, 2 degrees Fahrenheit to to 14 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's going to keep snowing. It's like 10:21 p.m. I think I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to watch the movie The Monkey, which I heard was really bad, but I also heard that it's just a sort of gory, ridiculous black comedy of a horror movie. And I really like the director, Oz Perkins. He did Longlegs. He did The Monkey. And then he's got another movie coming out, which apparently is very good. So I'm going to watch that, I think. But I need to make some food first. It was great today. But to me, the beautiful blue skies and the golden sunshine all along the way was represented in my ability to do everything that was on my list. I feel proud of myself. And I think I'm going to go to bed feeling good about what I accomplished today. Everyone, have a great night.